My name is Dr. Kundan Kumar Mishra, and I am here to discuss some of the facts related to fundamental process, and then we will see some of the questions which are important so far CSIR NET is concerned. In fundamental process, as we all are aware, fundamental process includes replication followed by transcription and then translation, and fundamental process of both pro and eukaryotes are different. So one by one we will see which one is important for what purpose, and accordingly we can discuss some of the important questions of NET. First, central dogma. It was introduced by Crick in 1959, and this describes how genetic information passes from DNA to protein. DNA has, exceptionally ability to replicate before performing any functions, and it can form similar type of molecules, what we call daughter strand. So template strand is responsible for formation of daughter strand. We call it replication. And then after replication, DNA genetic information is passes from DNA to RNA in the form of transcription. But in 1970, it was Temin who discovered that in certain retrovirus, genetic information may pass from RNA to DNA, and what we call this reverse transcription, which is important nowadays because functional genomics is completely based on isolation of mRNA and their conversion into cDNA. Now from RNA is responsible for expression of protein through translation. And through translation, protein will be formed, and this protein is responsible for performing all type of functions inside the cell and outside the cell. Now in eukaryotes, if we will see, there is a specific cell cycle which is not present in prokaryotes, and this cell cycle includes G1, G2, M and S phase. G1, G2 is called resting phase, and S phase is mainly responsible for synthesis of all type of molecular events like replication, transcription, translation, post-transcriptional modification, post-translational modification, etc., etc. So there is a clear-cut demarcation we can see here, S phase and G2 phase. G2 phase is actually considered as resting phase, G1 and G2. M phase is responsible for mitotic division of cell, where one cell is responsible for division of two. But before that, DNA has to be replicated, DNA has to be transcribed, and DNA has to be translated, and these all occurs in S phase. So here first we are going to discuss about the replications, and DNA replication follows a set of fundamental rules. First we will see fundamental concept of DNA replication of both pro and eukaryotes, and thereafter we will discuss some of the questions based on that. DNA replication is actually semi-conservative. It was Michelson and Stahl in 1954 who said that half of the DNA molecules are conserved in each cycle, and he proved by labeling DNA molecules with a radio-labeled isotope N14 and N15, and concluded that in each cycle half of the DNA will be conserved, and then a new fundamental rule said that is DNA replication is semi-conservative. Second important one is replication begins at an origin and usually proceed bidirectionally. There are specific sequences in the genome which are highly conserved, particularly in the case of E. coli. If we will see, it is around 255 base pair, and among them there will be a specific conserved regions 13 base pair and 9 base pair, which facilitate binding of many protein molecules, and then there will be creation of replication fork, and whenever replication fork created, then process of replication start in bidirectionally at leading and lagging strand respectively, that we will discuss later on. DNA synthesis always proceed in 5' to 3' direction, because 3' direction there will be hydroxyl group, and this hydroxyl group facilitate the binding of polymerase molecules at a specific site, and then synthesis of new nucleotide started. DNA is synthesized by DNA polymerase. DNA polymerase is key enzyme of replication, and there are various classes of polymerases in both pro and eukaryotes. In prokaryotes 3 types and in eukaryotes 5 types that we will discuss later on. It is responsible for processive chain elongation, means addition of nucleotides at 5' to 3' direction at complementary strand. And last one, DNA molecules is degraded by nuclease. Nuclease are the enzymes which can hydrolyze nucleic acid. Particularly for DNA molecules, there is a DNA age enzymes which can cleave phosphodiester bond between the nucleotides and responsible for degradation as well as removal of DNA. Bacterial DNA replication is basically bacterial or eukaryotic DNA replication is basically divided into 3 parts: initiation, elongation and termination. In initiation, basically it is a creation of replication fork as well as assembly of all those enzymes which are required for completing the process of replication, and there are around 18 proteins and enzymes involved in initiation. Elongation, when initiation completed, then DNA polymerase started a synthesis of nucleotides in 5' to 3' direction, and daughter molecules can be synthesized. And whenever replication finishes, then there will be a specific sequence in the genome of both and prokaryotes and eukaryotes where replication halted or process of replication ceased, called termination. Replication in the case of E. coli, which is prokaryotes or bacteria, consists of 245 base pairs of sequences which are highly conserved, and then DNA, DNA B, DNA C, these are the unwinding proteins. First, topoisomerase recognize this site and introduces Nic. And because of Nic, there will be creation of negative supercoiling, and it relieves topological stress. Thereafter, a single strand binding protein, what we call SSB, and then DNA, DNA B, DNA C, these all are came together and help DNA unwinding. Beside this, a specific enzyme called helicase, which are responsible for complete unwinding of duplex structure of DNA, and then polymerase, DNA polymerase came and process of elongation started. And this is the only stage which is regulated, highly regulated. This point has to be noted. This initiation is highly regulated process. Now here we can see what replication fork constitutes. We can see here these are the duplex DNA molecules where bases are A, T, G, C. These are the phosphodiester background, and here these are the sequences what we call this ORIC. So first here topoisomerase binds and it can causes Nic, and after creation of Nic, replication fork created. First helicase come and it binds and it responsible for unwinding of DNA molecules, followed by binding of single strand binding protein called SSB, and then when SSB protein binds, then primase is a type of RNA polymerase which can synthesize small RNA molecules, and these RNA molecules bind at particular location, and process of replication started when DNA polymerase enzyme third assemble, and it can start addition of nucleotides one by one in 5' to 3' direction. These strand, half of the strand are highly conserved in blue color. These are the parental strand and this one is daughter. Synthesis begins at two different mechanisms. At one strand synthesis, when primase synthesize a small RNA primer, then process continuously occurs, what we call this leading strand. But at lagging strand, synthesis occur in discontinuous manner because replication always proceed in 5' to 3' direction, and we know that DNA sequences or DNA strand are complementary to each other. So if synthesis occurs at one site in 5 prime to 3 prime direction, that another will be complementary. So replication will not possible in 3 prime to 3 prime to 5 prime direction. Therefore, there will be creation of a small nucleotide sequences and their synthesis at regular intervals called lagging strand, and this was proved by Renji Okazaki, and to honor of that fellow we call this Okazaki fragments. Thereafter, after synthesis of Okazaki fragments, which is around 1000 base pairs in the case of prokaryotes, a DNA polymerase 1, which has proofreading activity as well as exonucleolytic activity, it can remove the primer one by one, and then existing Okazaki fragment joined by DNA ligase and a complete DNA molecules are synthesized. So these are the events which occurs at replication fork, and these are the concept which is needed for understanding the mechanism of initiation and elongation. Now here we can see this is leading strand, here synthesis is continuous, and this one is lagging strand where synthesis is discontinuous because of formation of a small DNA molecules, what we call Okazaki fragments, 1000 base pairs in the case of prokaryotes and less than that 250 to 1000 in the case of eukaryotes. Now what DNA replication requires? First, it required single strand DNA molecules, and we know that H bond between the bases must be broken first. DNA double helix are actually DNA double helix form because of formation of hydrogen bond between the complementary base pair sequences. So if we have single strand DNA molecules, first it will have to be denatured, and therefore disruption of hydrogen bond is needed. And as I said, there is topoisomerase which can introduce Nick, and because of introduction of Nick, there are a lot of proteins which are single strand specific responsible for broken of hydrogen bond and unwinding. And then available pools of 4 DNTPs like DATP, DCTP, DGTP and DTTP. These are the precursor molecules of synthesis of nucleotides. These should be available. And then enzymes, particularly DNA polymerase 3, which are responsible for processive chain elongation in the case of bacteria or prokaryotes, add mononucleotides one by one continuously. Here we can see activity of DNA polymerase. The DNA polymerase is responsible for catalysis of processive chain elongation in 5 prime to 3 prime direction, and it has exonucleolytic activity in 3 prime to 5 direction. So what happened? Because of 3 prime to 5 prime direction, if error incorporated after 109 base pair, each 109 base pair, some of the mismatched nucleotides may be incorporated. That is recognized by this DNA polymerase 1 and removed. And thereafter, this double strand DNA molecules, if there will be any additional nucleotides, that can be also degraded in 5 prime to 3 prime direction, and a complete DNA molecules can be synthesized from the parental strand. This one the parental strand, these are the topoisomerase responsible for negative supercoiling, and these are the primosome DNA B, DNA C, G, etc. all together forms a complex called primosome. And these are the primates which can synthesize a small RNA primers in red color, and in this the DNA polymerase 3 which can synthesize nucleotides discontinuously at one strand and continuously at another strand. So basically synthesis of new nucleotides in 5 prime to 3 prime direction at both lagging and leading strand is called elongation. And here we can see at one strand replication is continuous, but at another strand like lagging strand replication is discontinuous. So we can call that DNA replication is semi-discontinuous. DNA polymerase 3 in the case of prokaryotes, it can synthesize nucleotides in both strands, while in the case of eukaryotes things is different. DNA polymerase 3 add deoxynucleotide DNTPs one by one in 5 prime to 3 prime direction, and then DNA ligase is responsible for formation of phosphodiester bond between 2 Okazaki DNA fragments at lagging strand and complete DNA molecule synthesized. Here we can see a structure of DNA polymerases. There are different units. This is prokaryotic DNA polymerase third, which is main DNA builder. Here we can see these are the subunits, beta, alpha, epsilon. These are the responsible for binding, and this alpha is responsible for addition of nucleotides in 5' to 3' direction. DNA polymerase third are considered as main DNA builder. It added 1000 base pair per second. It added 1000 base pair per second at leading and lagging both strand. And another important polymerase which has to be remembered is DNA polymerase 1. Its ability to add nucleotides in 5' to 3' direction is low. It's around 20 base pair per second, but it is main enzyme which are responsible for editing, repair and primer removal. If any mismatch occurs if any incorrect nucleotides added, then this can be removed by this DNA polymerase 1, and therefore this is one of the important enzyme of both DNA damage, repair as well as the synthesis of DNA. These are the Arthur Kornberg who first discovered this enzyme in 1959, and before 2003 it was thought that DNA polymerase 1 is actually responsible for synthesis of nucleotides, but later on his son Roger Kornberg in 2006 discovered that it is not DNA polymerase 1 but it is DNA polymerase 3 which are responsible for addition of nucleotide faster than DNA polymerase 1, and now that concept has been changed. Now actually what is basic function of DNA polymerase? DNA polymerase, as I said, it is responsible for addition of nucleotides always in 5' to 3' direction, but it must have certain requirement. If this requirement is not provided, then this enzyme will not work, and DNA polymerase third is highly efficient enzyme in vivo condition. It not work in vitro. In vitro condition DNA polymerase 1 is good, but in vitro condition DNA polymerase third never work. But all polymerases, whether polymerase 1, 3, 2, 4, 5 type of polymerases characterized in the case of eukaryotes, but polymerase 1 and 3 are important enzymes. So these all requires DNTPs, 4 DNTPs, which are precursor or building blocks of DNA molecules like DATP, DCTP, DGTP, DTTP, magnesium ions which act as a cofactors, and then primer. Primer is essential because primer provides 3' hydroxyl group which facilitate the binding of DNA molecules at DNA polymerase at a specific site, and then it can add nucleotides in 5' to 3' direction at the outer strand. DNA polymerase 1 repair or patching, it is responsible for repair and patching of DNA molecules, means proofreading activities. DNA polymerase third is main enzyme. It is responsible for addition of nucleotides, and DNA polymerase second, fourth and fifth has all proofreading, repair and other activities. It has more important role in the case of DNA damage and repair. Now here we can see how DNA polymerase 1 is responsible for proofreading as well as editing of DNA molecules. Here we can see these are the DNA molecules which is damaged because of ultraviolet radiation. Ultraviolet radiation or some of the mutagen may be responsible for DNA damage at regular intervals. UV rays when falls on DNA, it can causes formation of thymine dimer because DNA has ability to absorb ultraviolet radiation at 260 nanometer because of presence of aromatic bases purine and pyrimidine, and this can causes formation of dimer thymine means thymine instead of adenine thymine there will be pairing of thymine hydrogen bomb form and responsible for distortion of a structure of DNA molecules called thymine dimer. When this thymine dimer form, then cell has ability to repair or to remove this type of damaged or incorrect nucleotides. So first a endonuclease recognize that particular site and cut. Endonuclease are the enzymes which can remove nucleotides at non-terminal site. At terminal site there is 5', 3' and 3', 5'. But non-terminal site means internal region of DNA. These are the recognized by another endonuclease like DNase 1 or restriction enzyme is also considered as endonuclease, but it is not involved in replication. So this can cut the damaged DNA molecules and remove the nucleotides. Here damaged nucleotides is removed, and then DNA polymerase 1, it has first 5' to 3' exonucleolytic activity. So first it can remove these nucleotides one by one and added new nucleotides, means damaged nucleotides replaced by normal one, and then another enzyme what we call DNA ligase, which can comes and seals the nick. So damaged DNA molecules can be repaired, and this phenomenon is possessed by DNA polymerase 1 only. We can see this DNA polymerase 1 responsible for proofreading activity, correction of bases, repair of mismatched bases, like thymine formation is mismatch, cytosine formation is mismatch. A always pair with T and G pair with C. If this pairing is not occur, then that will be considered as mismatched sequences. It removes abnormal bases, repair damage throughout the life, and reduces error rate from 1 in 10,000 to 1 in 100 million bases. So this DNA polymerase 1 is key enzyme responsible for removal of error during the process of replication. Now whenever DNA molecule synthesize, like if you will talk about E. coli genome, it's 4.6 into 10 to the power 6 base pair, or if we will talk about human being, it's 3.2 into 10 to the power 9 base pair, and each genome has to be replicated before mitotic division started. And whenever this replication finished, then there will be a specific site in the genome what we call terminal sequences. Specific sequences, particularly in the case of bacteria, it is around 220 base pair repeat sequences, which has terminus utilizations, which is also called terminus utilization sequence or TUR sequence. Terminus utilization sequence is also called TUR sequence. It is responsible for formation of TUS complex. TUS is a type of protein. It is a special kind of protein, terminus utilization substrate, terminus utilization substance, which has a specific affinity with TUR sequence on DNA molecules, and it can bind with. When bind, then there will be formation of TUS complex, and this can halt the replication fork, and process of replication stop immediately. Then another enzyme came in light, what we call DNA topoisomerase 4. It's a type of type 2 DNA polymerase. Sometimes it is also called DNA garage, responsible for unlink the interlinked daughter genomes, and therefore a complete nucleotide synthesized. Now we have to remember some of the facts in replication in eukaryotes. Initiation, elongation, termination process is very similar in eukaryotes, but here differences lies on replication number of replicon, means a replicon is a point where process of replication is started. So for prokaryotes is concerned, genome is smaller, therefore number of replicon is less, while in the case of eukaryotes genome is too big, so number of replication may be sometime 30,000 to 3 lakhs, or sometime 50,000 to 6 lakhs, like that. It will depends on type of genomes of eukaryotes. Replication fork form in pairs and create replication bubbles moving in opposite direction, means replication always proceed in bidirectionally. Different regions on the same chromosome are replicated at distinct times in S phase. And in the case of eukaryotes, we know that eukaryotic DNA sequences are highly associated with histone protein, what we call chromatin. So this chromatin replicates late, while less condensed region replicate earlier, means there will be two type of chromatin in the case of eukaryotes, called euchromatin and heterochromatin. Euchromatin is less condensed, so it can replicate faster as compared to heterochromatin, and after replication this histone protein associated and a complete chromosome form, what we call chromosome replication. One thing which has to be discussed in details, that eukaryotic DNA polymerase. Eukaryotic DNA polymerase is a bit different from prokaryotes. In prokaryotes, we had seen around 5 type of polymerases, while in the case of eukaryote, it is estimated around 15 different polymerases are there, but among them only 5 have been studied and characterized extensively. This eukaryotic DNA polymerase requires RNA primers, and then polymerase alpha start to replicate, elongating the primer with around 20 nucleotides. Synthesis of leading and lagging strand is then taken over by polymerase epsilon and delta. This has to be considered. This one is important. So far, synthesis of leading and lagging strand is concerned, different polymerases are there, and this type of question has been already asked in net many times. These epsilon and delta, these two polymerases is responsible for synthesis of nucleotides at leading and lagging strand respectively. Polymerase delta is encoded by pol D1 genes, and pol epsilon is by pol E1 genes. So there are different type of genes and different type of polymerases which are responsible for synthesis of mononucleotides at leading and lagging strand respectively. This point has to be considered more an important one. And whenever replication finished, then there are a specific site, what we call conserved site, which is present in each chromosome of eukaryotes, which becomes shorter. In each cycle it becomes shorter because that do not replicates. So therefore that sequences has to be maintained in complete form, and therefore a special type of enzyme, what we call telomerase came in light. This telomerase is a type of RNA polymerase. It's not DNA polymerase, and it has a specific sequences. It can recognize a specific sequences, and it can work without primer. It can add mononucleotides which can create gap during the process of initiation, and whole genomes, sequences of whole genomes can be maintained. So this telomerase is a type of RNA polymerase responsible for synthesis of nucleotides at the terminal end without primers, and then these gap which are a part of initiation site, thereafter DNA polymerase can come and it can synthesize the another nucleotides and complete genomes replicated and process of transcription completed. Now after replication, our genome faces constant threat because of so many mutagens. Mutagens are naturally, some of the mutagens are naturally present, like some of the oncogenic virus which are responsible for creation of mutation in our genome. It can integrate in our genome directly and responsible for DNA damage, as well as some of the another external mutants like ethidium bromide, like nitrosoguanidine, like 5-bromouracil, ethyl methane sulfonate, radiation like ultraviolet radiation, gamma radiation, and some of the base analogs like 5-bromouracil. These all are responsible for damage of DNA at regular intervals, and therefore our genome faces constant threat. But because of certain mechanism, our cell is able to remove those damaged nucleotides one by one, which can create problems in genomes, and that phenomenon is called repair. So DNA damage and repair, these occurs continuously inside the cell. There are 3 main reasons for DNA damage. First one is hydrolysis and deamination, removal of water, and deamination, removal of amino group. If we will see aromatic bases, there is NH2 group called deamination. If we remove the amino group, then what happened? There will be automatically hydroxyl group came, and this can facilitate the incorrect pairing of DNA molecules. Then another one is alkylation oxidation and radiation. As I said, there ethyl methane sulfonate, it's an example of alkylating agent. There are many oxidizing agents and radiation, particularly ultraviolet rays and gamma rays, which are responsible for either disruption of phosphodiester bond or glycosidic bond, or responsible for tautomerization, means change of bases from keto to enol. This is responsible for DNA damage. Another important one is base analog like 5-bromouracil and intercalating agent. Intercalating agents are the agents which can intercalate between the two bases of DNA molecules. For example, ethidium bromide, it's a carcinogen and mutagenic agent. It has affinity with hydrogen bonds and it can intercalate between the two bases of DNA molecules, and that will lead to DNA damage. So that damage has to be repaired, a mechanism what we call DNA repair mechanism that occurs naturally in our genomes, and these repairs, the repair system are different type. Like one is excision repair, another one is nucleotide excision repair, base excision repair, photoreactivation, mismatch repair, and save our soul response. These are the different type of mechanism by which our genomes can be repaired or DNA damage can be repaired. For example, if we will take about base excision repair or nucleotide excision repair, that is recognized by a specific protein called UVRABCD. These are the proteins which can recognize those sequences, and it acts as endonuclease, remove that sequences, and then polymerase 1 came and synthesize the nucleotides and remove the mismatch or damaged DNA molecules. Another one is photoreactivation. When radiation like ultraviolet radiation or gamma rays falls on DNA molecules, it can cause a disruption of glycosidic bond or sometimes tautomerization. So what happened? Instead of normal pairing of bases, abnormal pairing occurs, and that is called damage. Like when ultraviolet rays falls on DNA molecules, it can promote formation of thymine dimer, and because of dimer formation, a normal base pairing rule, Chargaff base pairing, A pair with T and G pair with C, it will be disrupted. So to correct that, there is a special type of enzyme called photolyase, which can expose when DNA damage occurs. It can expose in presence of light, and then photolyase is responsible for removal of thymine dimer along with DNA polymerase. Photolyase it can normalize formation of thymine dimer between the bases, and if it will be not normalized, then DNA polymerase 1 remove the nucleotide by exonucleolytic activity and added correct nucleotides. Another one is SOS response, which is called save our soul. It is type of recombinational repair, and lot of proteins and enzymes involved in that. Mainly, if we will see DNA repair enzyme, it's heat shock protein, which is sometimes it is called molecular chaperones. It is also responsible for folding protein in correct configuration, and DNA polymerase 1 is key enzyme of DNA repair. DNA polymerase 1, it has all activity, removing mismatch, in removal of incorrect nucleotides, then exonucleolytic activity and polymerizing activity. So it has all activity and very stable enzyme. Therefore, it has important role in DNA damage and repair. And this DNA ligase, this can seals the gap between the two nucleotides, means it is responsible for formation of phosphodiester bond between the adjacent nucleotides. Now time has come to discuss some of the important questions which has been asked in NET examination, or which is act as a model organisms in NET examination. Here we can see in eukaryotic cell, DNA synthesis occurs during the phase of cell cycle. Which cell cycle? As we had discussed earlier, prokaryotes do not have a specific cell cycle. Prokaryotes, there is no defined true nucleus, so replication, transcription, translation, these can occur simultaneously. There is no clear-cut demarcation. But in the case of eukaryotes, cell cycle is divided into mainly 5 phases: G0, G1, G2, S, and M phase. M phase is responsible for mitotic division, while G1 and G2 phase is called resting phase. So only S phase, what we call synthetic phase, this synthetic phase is responsible for DNA synthesis or replication in eukaryotes. Not only replication but transcription, repair, post-transcriptional mechanism, splicing, then translation, post-translational mechanism, post-translational modification. These all are occurs in S phase. Therefore, it is called synthetic phase. So, answer is S phase. Now, next question. Which of the following DNA polymerases is essential for both replication and repair of DNA molecules? We can see on Teletop. Now, question is, which of the following DNA polymerases is responsible for both the replication and repair of DNA? You know, here we can see DNA polymerase 1. You know, it has 5' to 3' exonucleolytic activity. Then 3' to 5' exonucleolytic activity and 5' to 3' polymerizing activity. While if we will compare another polymerase like polymerase 2 or polymerase 3, you know, this polymerase 3 is main DNA builder, but it doesn't have 3' to 5' or 5' to 3' exonucleolytic activity. So it doesn't possesses ability to repair. This DNA polymerase 2 doesn't have ability to synthesize nucleotides and you know, exonucleolytic activity in both direction. Only DNA polymerase 1 is responsible for synthesis of nucleotides as well as removal of incorrect nucleotides. So answer will be DNA polymerase 1. Which of the following DNA polymerase is essential for both the replication and repair of DNA? So answer is DNA polymerase 1. This question is already asked in NET. Whatever question I am discussing, it is already asked in last 5 years. Now third one, DNA replication in E. coli requires, means we have to see there are different options and which one is correct one. DNA replication in E. coli requires. What is requirement of replication in the case of prokaryotes or bacteria or E. coli? First one is primase to make a small primers containing deoxyribonucleotides. Primase to make a small primers containing deoxyribonucleotides. Another one, DNA polymerase third to join Okazaki DNA fragments. This is single requirement. This one is single requirement. C, DNA polymerase alpha to synthesize DNA. And fourth one, DNA polymerase 1 to remove primers and fill in the gaps in the lagging strand. You know, these three are individual requirements, while these fourth one, DNA polymerase 1 to remove primers and fill in the gaps in the lagging strand, is true. Lagging strand synthesis and joining of Okazaki DNA fragments is possible because of this DNA polymerase 1 to remove primers and fills in the gap in the lagging strand. Rather than this, alpha is not present in E. coli. Third, never join Okazaki DNA fragments, and primase is not only responsible for deoxyribonucleotides, but it can synthesize a small nucleotides in the 3' to 5 direction, which can attached at specific sites. So this one is important. These three are wrongs. Now we can see another questions. You know, a solution containing DNA polymerase 1 Mg2 plus salts of DATP, DGTP, DCTP and an appropriate buffer. These are the 4 DNAPs. Now, which of the following DNA molecules would serve as template for synthesis when added to the solution? Once again, I am going to discuss it because these are bit twisted questions. Here we can see a solution contains DNA polymerase 1, Mg2 plus salts of DNA polymerase 1, not 3. DNA polymerase 1, Mg2 plus salts of DATP, DGTP, DCTP and appropriate buffer. Which of the following DNA molecules would serve as a template for DNA synthesis when added to the solution? A single strand closed circle. This one is not possible. We can see on Teletop. here single strand closed circuit do not have any exposed area, so there will be no 3' OH group, no questions of primer binding. Second option is a single strand closed circle base pair to shorter linear strand with 3' terminal hydroxyl. Now we can see teletop here. If this will be exposed at 3' OH and 5' P, then this can be act as substrate for binding of DNA polymerase third. Another one, single strand closed base pair to a shorter linear strand with 3' terminal phosphate. No, if DNA molecules has 3' P, OH group will be not present, then polymerase will never bind. So this one is wrong. And a double strand closed circle, there will be no any exposed area, so DNA strand is not unwind, so no questions of replication. So this one is important. B1, B, here can see answer will be B, a single strand closed circle base paired to a shorter linear strand with a 3' terminal hydroxyl, and this one is correct. Now fifth question, sorry. This question is very straightforward. During DNA replication, a significant proportion of newly synthesized DNA in the lagging strand exists as a small Okazaki DNA fragments. The size of these units in bacteria are approximately, we can see on teletop. As I said you, DNA replication always proceed in 5' to 3' direction, and you know that DNA strand are complementary to each other. One is 5', another is 3'. So what happened? If replication at one strand proceed in 5' to 3' direction, then obviously at another strand replication is not possible. Replication will not possible, not at all. So it was Okazaki who suggested that at another strand, what we call lagging, there will be formation of clamp-like structure. Here, a small Okazaki DNA fragments, synthesized at regular intervals, and this was discovered by Okazaki, whose length is approximately 1000 base pairs in the case of bacteria or eukaryotes. So the length of Okazaki DNA fragments will be 1000 nucleotides. So B1 is correct. 100 nucleotides is incorrect. 100 base pair means 200 is incorrect. 1000 base pair means 2000 base pair is incorrect. Correct answer is 1000 nucleotides. Next question, very important one, asked in NET twice. Eukaryotes differ from prokaryotes in DNA replication due to the facts. First one, different enzymes for leading and lagging strand. We can see teletop. As I said earlier, in the case of eukaryotes, there are approximately 15 polymerases, but 5 are characterized. And if we will see 5, then there will delta and epsilon. These delta and epsilons are two different type of polymerases responsible for synthesis of nucleotides at leading as well as lagging strand. These two are the different type of polymerases responsible for synthesis of leading and lagging strand respectively. So different enzymes for leading and lagging strand is true. Use of DNA primer instead of RNA primer is wrong. Only RNA primer is required. As I said, primase are the enzymes which can synthesize a small RNA molecules in the form of primers. Third one is discontinuous rather than semi-discontinuous replication. This is not true. Its replication is always semi-discontinuous. And unidirectional rather than bidirectional replication. This is wrong. Replication is always bidirectional. So this one is A option is correct. Different enzymes for leading and lagging strand. Next question. this is based on concept of semi-conservative. DNA replication is semi-conservative. Based on that, a double-strand DNA molecules made radioactive in both its strand. It is allowed to replicate twice in non-radioactive medium. The result would be, if we remembered what Michelson and Stahl said, DNA replication is semi-conservative. We can see on teletop. Here what happened? If this is duplex DNA molecules, and if this strand is radio labeled, and this one means both strand will be radio labeled, then what happened? Both strand will act as a template. Here this one is radio, and here this one is radio. So whatever new nucleotide will be synthesized, it will be non-radio labeled. It will be non-radio. So one will be radio, another will be non-radio labeled. Again, in next cycle, another will be radio labeled, another next will be non-radio labeled. So what happened? All strand have radioactivity is not true, because one strand is conserved in each cycle, each replication, each template. So this one is incorrect. Then half the strand have radioactivity. This one is true, because DNA replication is semi-conservative. 3 strand have radioactivity. It's wrong. There will be no questions of 3 strand. While radioactivity is absent in all strand, it's not true. DNA replication is semi-conservative as proved by Michelson and Stahl. So B option is right. Half of the strand in each daughter will be radio labeled, and this was proved by Michelson and Stahl through N15 and N14 labeling. Now again, this one is bit twisted, asked in net so many times. Now if you add thymidine monophosphate in place of thymidine triphosphate in DNA synthesis reaction, what would happen? Consider these questions again. If you add thymidine monophosphate, means instead of TT, we can see on teletop, instead of DTTP, it's a triphosphate. Instead of DTTP, we will add DTMP, monophosphate, instead of triphosphate, dioxythymidine triphosphate. If we add monophosphate in DNA synthesis reaction, what would happen? What would happen? What will be result? Leading strand synthesis would not occur. Lagging strand synthesis would not occur. Primase synthesis would not occur. DNA synthesis would be affected. Now here 4 options, and here we will have to select which one is right. Only P means leading strand synthesis would not occur. For addition of nucleotides in processive chain elongation, there is a need of DNTPs. Triphosphate is compulsory, like DTTP, DATP, DCTP, DGT. Triphosphate is there because triphosphate is responsible for formation of phosphodiester bond between, now here triphosphate, this triphosphate bind with sugar molecules through phosphodiester bond, and here is glycosidic bond here, and then base. Between the bases there will be hydrogen bond. See, if monophosphate will be added, then there will be no questions of phosphodiester bond formation, and DNA synthesis will be affected. Not only at leading strand, but at lagging strand it will be affected. There is no any correlation or connection between the thymidine monophosphate to primase, or DNA synthesis would be unaffected. This one is wrong. So this one is right. PQ. This PQ. Leading strand synthesis will not possible because monophosphate will not form phosphodiester bond between adjacent nucleotides, and lagging strand same. For formation of phosphodiester bond between the DNTPs, there is a need of triphosphate. So leading and lagging both strand synthesis will not possible. So answer is P and Q. C. Answer is P and Q. This one is correct answer. Now here next one. Which statement about the DNA B helicase is true? You know, DNA B is a component of chromosome, as I discussed earlier. This DNA B is basically single strand binding proteins, and it is responsible for unwinding the DNA molecules. That's why it is called helicase, DNA helicase. You know, this DNA helicase is basically a protein which are not ring-shaped molecules, and it never allowed DNA molecules to go through the hole. So this A is incorrect. So far this B, DNA B helicase is loaded into the lagging strand by the CAMP loader. This one is wrong. This is features of DNA polymerase third. It is loaded into the lagging strand by CLAMP loader. So this one is wrong. Third one, DNA B is loaded into single strand DNA at ORIC by DNA C. This one is correct. You know, DNA B has affinity with DNA C, and these are the components of chromosome. So this DNA B is loaded onto single strand DNA molecules at origin of replication by DNA C and form a complex called chromosome complex. So this C is correct, while D, interaction between the top subunit of the replicosome and DNA B causes the helicase to go slower. This one is incorrect. This one has no correlation with DNA B or DNA C. So C is correct. Now this one is very simple, based on memory. Choose the mismatch. Means there are different polymerases and we have to select which one is incorrect. So far this DNA polymerase 1 is concerned, it is depicted, it's a primer removal and gap filling. This primer removal is okay. At lagging strand, it can synthesize Okazaki DNA fragments, and then RNA sequence is removed by 5' to 3' exonucleolytic activity. This is true, but it is not gap filler. Gap filler is DNA polymerase second. So this one is wrong. Another one is polymerase third, which is also called DNA replicase, is true. This polymerase fifth, responsible for translesion replication, is true. Translesion means when DNA damage occurs, then this can escape. And this D, DNA polymerase gamma, is nuclear DNA replication. This one is wrong. This gamma is responsible for mitochondrial replication. So here DNA polymerase 1 is responsible for primer removal and sometime gap filling. So this option might be correct, but this one is completely incorrect. This DNA polymerase gamma is responsible for mitochondrial replication instead of nuclear DNA. So this one is right choice, D. This one is right option, polymerase gamma, nuclear DNA replication. No, it is responsible for mitochondrial DNA replication. Next question. What is role of DNA gyrase in DNA replication? You know, this DNA gyrase, there are two type of topoisomerases responsible for nicking at particular position on DNA molecules. Topoisomerase 1 is responsible for single strand break at particular location, and topoisomerase 2, it is responsible for causing nick at both strand. So sometime it is also called DNA gyrase. DNA gyrase. First one is to relax or to prevent supercoiling of double helix. That's true. We can see on teletop. We can see these are the duplex DNA molecules. So if nick occurs here and here, so what happened? Both strand will be open. And if a strand will be open, then what happened? This will be completely linearized. Both strand will be completely linearized. Although this type of structure is called supercoiling structure, and here if nick will be introduced by topoisomerase at both strands, then this become circular. So if we will see first option, to relax or prevent supercoiling of DNA double helix, is correct one. This is features of DNA garage or topoisomerase 2. While B, to separate the two template strand of DNA at each replication fork, is wrong. To synthesize a short RNA primer for each new DNA strand is wrong, because RNA primer is synthesized by primase. And to protect single strand region of DNA from damage is wrong. This is done by UBR protein. So this one is correct, to relax or to prevent supercoiling of DNA double helix.